Hello, wonderhussie here, back from Colombia. If you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, well, you've seen the pictures I've been posting for the past 9-10 days from beautiful Colombia. Had an amazing trip down there, but I'm back now, and I'm pulling a page out of Wandering Gypsy's playbook and shooting this video while I'm driving. Or maybe more precisely, barreling down a lonely desert highway on my way to the Las Vegas airport. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Well, gee, wonderhussie, if you just got back from Colombia, why are you going to the airport again already? Well, it's because there was a little snafu with my checked bag. Okay, if you've ever flown anywhere, especially if you fly a lot, well, you know how no one likes to check their suitcase. They rather just bring it on the plane with them and stow it in the overhead compartment. Well, my suitcase was a little bit too big to do that, so I had to check it in. And, well, the reason why no one likes checking their bags is, well, sometimes they get lost. And my bag didn't exactly get lost. It just got delayed, okay? It's kind of a long story. I had a very long day of travel yesterday. I left Medellin, Colombia. That's right, they pronounce it Medellin, Colombia, Medellin, however you want to say it. Anyway, that's where I was staying in Colombia, and we had to get up real early to go to the airport yesterday. Colombia is on Eastern time, okay, and I'm used to Pacific time, so that was 3 hours ahead for me. And we had to be ready to go by 6 a.m., which meant I had to get up at 4:30, which for me was like 1:30 a.m. I'm all turned around. I've got all kinds of jet lag, which I guess I'm glad it's a bright, sunny day because the sunshine is keeping me awake so that I don't fall asleep on the wheel. Gosh, look how beautiful it is. That's the Spring Mountains over there. Snow-capped Mount Charleston, the highest mountain in the Spring Mountain range. I think it's almost 12,000 feet, and there was no snow on it at all when I left for Colombia. We hadn't gotten any rain all winter, but I guess it rained while I was away, so the mountains sure are looking pretty right now. Anyway, so I got up yesterday at 1:30 my time, 4:30 local time, got to the airport, flew to, well, I had to fly to Houston, Texas, and then change planes. I booked a United Airlines ticket from Medellin to Houston, and then from Houston to Las Vegas. Well, unfortunately, they didn't allow enough time between the two flights. That ever happened to you when you get to the airport? I had like an hour and 44-minute layover, which I thought would be plenty of time to get from the gate I landed at to the gate I was departing from. I mean, I had a similar length turnover on the way to Colombia, but, well, the United States has very strict security laws, I guess, ever since 9/11, so I didn't realize when I got to Houston, not only did I have to go through customs, get my passport stamped to enter the United States. Are you bringing any drugs into the country? No, sir. And then I had to go through, I had to go get my bag. I didn't realize I had to go pick up my bag on the baggage carousel between flights. Normally, if you have a connecting flight, they just automatically send your bag through. Well, I guess if you're going international or coming from a foreign country, they don't do that. You have to go pick your bag up. So I barely had enough time. By the time I got through customs, I was already really late for my flight. So I sprinted through the airport. The security guard said, ma'am, you need to get your suitcase. So I sprinted to the baggage carousel, but my suitcase wasn't there. And so I asked the lady, well, what gives? And she said, oh, well, they must have just gone ahead and routed it through. They don't normally do that, but okay, I guess your bag already got sent ahead. So I sprinted back across the airport. And let me tell you something. If you've ever been to the Houston airport, that's a big airport and a long distance to sprint. But I sprinted all the way to security. I had to go through security again and then ran to the gate, but it was too late. I had missed the flight by like 15 minutes, which wasn't a big deal. The gate agent rebooked me on the next flight to Las Vegas, because that's what they do. If you miss a flight because they booked the connection too close, they just book you for free at no charge on the next flight. Okay, great. Wasn't too bad. It was like an hour and a half later. I left Houston at 8 p.m. Or no, it arrived into Las Vegas at 8 p.m. my time, which I had originally told my sister to pick me up at 6. So it was only a couple hours later. No big deal, right? Well, I told my sister, I'll text you when I land, but don't come get me until I text you that I have my suitcase in hand. Because I had a feeling that my suitcase wasn't going to get there the same time as I did, and it didn't. When I got to Las Vegas, I went down to the United baggage carousel, and there was no wonderhussie suitcase. And I went over to the little United baggage area, and there was no wonderhussie suitcase there either. And I asked the agent to look it up, and she said, oh, for whatever reason, my suitcase was on the next flight from Houston, which wasn't going to land for another 3 hours. Okay, it wasn't going to land until 11 p.m., and by the time my bag was on the baggage carousel, it would have been like 11:30, and I felt bad because my sister already had to come pick me up, and we were both already so tired. Remember, I had been up since 1:30 in the morning. Now I'm supposed to wait at the Vegas airport until 11:30, which means I wouldn't get home until 1 a.m., meaning I would have been traveling for 24 hours. Well, I didn't really think I had any choice, but my sister said, I really don't want to stay at the airport for 3 hours. You know, is there anything else we can do? And I thought, oh, I'll ask my friend Scott if he'll go to the airport and pick up my bag for me the next day. Because he was going to come out here anyways and bring us, well, they're bringing us, him and his friend Mark are bringing us some artworks. It's kind of a long story. I'm not going to get into that now, but suffice it to say they're bringing some pretty interesting stuff out to the compound. So I figure, okay, Scott could just go pick up my bag the next day. They hold the bag for 3 days, by the way, before they get rid of it. So I asked him, like, can I have my friend come pick up the bag? Oh, yeah, sure. We just need, call this number, give him your friend's name, and he can come pick up your bag. So I called Scott. Hey, Scott. And by the way, I hate asking people for favors. I'm one of those people who really doesn't like asking for help. It's very difficult for me. But what are friends for, right? So I called Scott. I asked him if he could pick up my bag. And he said no. And actually, that snow on the mountains there is part of the reason he was unable to help me, because Scott spent all last week snowboarding. Although I guess he wasn't up in the Spring Mountains. He went to Utah to visit some family members. Anyway, he's in the middle of moving. I do cut him some slack for that. He's trying to move. He doesn't know where he's moving to. He's unemployed. He's having a hard time. So he just told me he just had too much going on. He couldn't pick my bag up for me. Which, I mean, I guess I understand, but I think I took it unreasonably hard because, like I said, it's really hard for me to ask people for help to begin with. And so asking him was difficult, and then him saying no was like, well, I'm always complaining about how I don't have any real friends other than my sister. And when I say real friend, I mean someone you can call with an emergency in the middle of the night that will drop everything and help you. I don't have any friends like that. And I've complained about this before, and I've had a few people tell me I'm that kind of friend, and I think Scott was one of those people. But when it came down to it, he was unable to help me. And so I don't know why I let that get to me as much as I did, but it really kind of hurt my feelings. Maybe that's irrational, but anyway, I told my sister, no, Scott can't come get it. Well, she really didn't want to wait around for 3 hours. And so she said, listen, I'll just go pick your bag up for you the next day. Well, I'm not going to make my sister drive all the way to Las Vegas to pick up my suitcase. No, I'm not that big of a jerk. We live 90 miles away from the Vegas airport. It would have been a big inconvenience for her. So this morning, I wasn't able to sleep because I was worrying about the whole stupid situation. So I just thought, screw it. Let me call him again and make sure it's at the Vegas airport, because before I drive 90 miles to the Vegas airport and burn, well, it's going to be a half a tank of gas by the time I get back, I want to make sure the bag is physically at the Vegas airport. And when you call United Baggage, it sends you to this 1-800 number, and this guy in India who was very nice answered, but I asked him, I'm like, I need you to tell me if you can see my suitcase with your eyes at the Las Vegas airport before I drive out there. And he couldn't or wouldn't transfer me to the United baggage desk at the Vegas airport. Turned into this whole big friggin' rigmarole. I dealt with that all morning. I finally got somebody on the phone, and they said they could deliver it to me out here. And I was like, really? I mean, I guess that's what airlines do. If they lose your bag is delayed, they bring it to your house or your hotel room. They have like a shuttle bus that goes around and drops off all the misplaced luggage. I said, I live 90 miles away from the airport. Are you sure you can do that? And he looked it up, and he looked at my address, and he said, oh, yeah, sure, we can deliver to you. It just might not get there till 11 p.m. Well, I'm exhausted, man. I need to go to bed real early tonight because I'm still on the other time zone, and I didn't get a lot of sleep to begin with in Colombia, so I don't want to have to sit around waiting till 11 p.m. for this suitcase to show up. A. B, I don't think it will show up because C, there's no cell signal where I live, and D, there's no traffic street lights. It's pitch black. This driver's gonna get lost. Even if he finds our house, he's not gonna be able to get up the driveway, and if he does try to get up the driveway, his wheels are gonna spin out, and he's just gonna gouge a hole in the thing where my sister did all that work digging that trench. And so I said, you know what, forget it, I'll just drive all the way to Vegas and pick up the dang bag myself. And so that's just what I'm doing now, descending into the bowels of Vegas to go to the airport. I hate that I had to pay to park just to go to pick up my dang bag, which isn't even my fault. Well, I guess it kind of is my fault that I decided to move out to the middle of nowhere where they couldn't just deliver the dang bag to me. Anyway, maybe if I go real fast, I won't have to pay that much. What does it say? 0 minutes to 1 hour, $3. Well, with any luck, I ought to be able to make it out of here for $3. Although, to make matters worse, this is a Sunday, which is one of the busiest days of the week in Las Vegas, because everyone's crawling home from their weekend of debauchery, nursing their hangovers, and oh, well, whoa, it's actually strangely deserted here today. I mean, I guess it stands to reason that the baggage claim would be deserted, since no one really flies in to Vegas on a Sunday. So I guess it doesn't really matter what day of the week it is, as long as it isn't Friday. Okay, look, here's the United baggage claim. I just feel like it's going to be a complete miracle if my suitcase is actually here. Fingers crossed, though. I drove 90 friggin' miles to get this thing. Okay, here's Houston, IAH. That stands for International Airport Houston, I guess. Yes, I'm looking for my bag. Oh, dang. That was way easier than I expected. I thought I was going to have to... Gosh, I don't know what I thought I was going to have to do. Play some kind of crazy life or death roulette game, but no, here it is. Waiting patiently for me from yesterday. My beater old suitcase. Oh my God, this is embarrassing. I really need to get a new suitcase. I mean, look at this thing. The plastic coating is coming off. Ugh. Talk about a hillbilly. But whatever, that only took me like 5 minutes. Now I kind of feel like I want to get my money's worth. I paid for an hour of parking here, but I don't know. What am I going to do in the Las Vegas airport baggage claim for another 55 minutes? I mean, as far as airports go, I guess it is kind of an interesting one. I guess there's a pop-up marriage license bureau somewhere. There's ads for all these different attractions and restaurants. There's even a bunch of slot machines somewhere around here if I was inclined to gamble, which I'm not. I already spent enough money driving all the way out here, and now I'm gonna have to pay $3 just for this privilege of getting my bag. I think my safest bet is just gonna be to get back in my car and drive back out to the blessed desert. Oh dang, look at that. There are actually a decent number of people flying into Las Vegas on a Sunday afternoon. Good for them. I hope they take this city for every penny they can. Oh, gotta stop and take a whiz. You know, of all the many inconveniences about living in the middle of nowhere in the desert, like having to drive 90 miles to pick up your missed bag at the airport, one of the few conveniences is you can pull over and take a tinkle pretty much anywhere on your way home from the big city. That's pretty much the only convenience, though. Holy cow, look at the mountains. Oh my gosh. Remember that snow I showed you on the way to town? Look how beautiful it looks with the sunset light on it. Almost like ice cream. You don't see that in Colombia. Oh, I kind of feel like taking a minute and just walking right down the center of the old Spanish Trail, because why not? Like I said, there's few enough perks to living out here. Might as well enjoy the few that I have. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair. Is that the smell of Colitas? I'm not sure what the smell of Colitas is. I don't think anyone knows what is meant by the smell of Colitas. I'm pretty sure the songwriter never really explained it. And so, well, to me, I guess the smell of Colitas is sort of a bouquet, a desert blend of, oh, there's probably, 1 part creosote, 1 part marijuana smoke, and maybe 1 part swamp ass. In other words, the perfect desert perfume. And it sure is good to be back in the desert, sniffing it in. Oh golly, look. A traffic jam! Boy, it's not too often that you see 2 cars passing on the old Spanish Trail Highway, which is one of the most desolate highways I've ever been on. Certainly in this area. I mean, the California-Nevada state line is just right back there, so the Nevada Highway Patrol doesn't really come out here, and I don't think the CHP really comes out here, so it's sort of this bizarre no man's land. And well, I guess that's part of what I like about it. Anyway, I did enjoy being in Colombia. I'm sure you're all very curious about what I got up to when I was down there. And I'll just say I got in to quite a lot. It was an action-packed trip. We did something every single day I was there. I was with my girlfriend Gina from Arkansas and her entire extended family from Arkansas. And they were wonderful people, even though at times it felt as if I was immersed in a 9-day-long episode of the Jerry Springer Show. And I mean that in the best possible way. They were wonderful people. I had a great time. I just didn't get very much sleep. I mean, we had to get up early every day to get here and get there. And we packed way too much into 9 days. But I got at least, I'd say I shot 3 videos in Colombia. And it's going to take me a while to edit them and get them out. But I will. And so you'll be able to see for yourself that Colombia is actually an amazing country to visit. I was kind of apprehensive myself, I'll be honest. You hear about Colombia and you think, oh, Pablo Escobar, drug cartels, violence, murder, kidnappings. And in fact, when I went to the State Department website, it said Colombia was rated as a certain level threat for travelers. And they recommended reconsidering your travel plans. Well, I don't know what the deal is, because I spent most of my time in Medellin, and it was very safe, very clean, very nice. People were friendly. In fact, I didn't bring these glasses because I was kind of apprehensive about the political situation, and I could have worn these probably just fine. Everybody was very friendly to us. That we were very obviously American. No one said anything. In fact, I even saw a guy at the airport on the way to Bogota wearing a MAGA hat, okay? I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, but my point is just, I think I could have probably worn these glasses and it would have been okay. Colombia actually is not a third world country. I looked it up. It has the 3rd biggest economy in South America and the 4th biggest economy in all of Latin America. So if you've ever been curious to visit Colombia, I definitely recommend it. I had a great time. It's beautiful. I'll be sharing some videos about it with you soon. As soon as I get some dang rest. So now I gotta go home, unpack my suitcase, which, by the way, is full of my dirty underwear. I considered, well, when my friend Scott said he couldn't go pick it up for me, I considered just posting on Facebook, hey, is there anybody in Las Vegas who'll go get my suitcase for me? It's full of dirty chonies. Golly, why is everybody going out to the edge of Death Valley tonight? I didn't expect it to be so popular. Anyway, I considered posting on Facebook that my suitcase was full of dirty chonies, and so that might have enticed somebody to go get it, and then they could have sniffed them or whatever before they brought it to me. But as it is with it feels like just about everything in my life, I just went and did it myself. You know, that's what kind of is niggling at me about this whole situation where I finally asked for help and was rebuffed. I guess I just can't take rejection very well. I mean, he had a perfectly reasonable excuse. He's moving. He's trying to move. He's trying to figure out where he's moving. Just because he couldn't help me this one time doesn't mean he's not a good friend. So I just need to toughen up. But at the same time, it just makes me think, yeah, you know, if you want anything done, you just got to do it yourself. Oh my God, look how beautiful the mountains and the sky are now. Ugh, this is an absolutely beautiful evening to be out in the desert. And apparently, I'm not the only one who feels that way. Golly, what is this? Like, 1, 2 more cars. 4 cars have passed me since I started making this video. Well, I guess this area isn't as desolate as it once was. Go figure. Here I thought I would stop for a nice, peaceful walk in the desert and along this lonely desert highway. Well, I guess I got another think coming, because if I tried to walk down the middle of this highway, I guess I'd be liable to get run over. Well, I guess I better get back in the car and head home anyway, because golly, it's 6 o'clock, and I did stop off at Chipotle when I was in Vegas to get something to eat. You know, since I drove all that way, well, I might as well make a couple stops while I'm in town, and then this way I don't have to cook anything to eat. I'm so tired, man. I just want to go sleep for a year. But instead, I'm going to sleep for 9 hours and then start editing the videos I shot in Colombia. So, stay tuned for those. Golly, another car. Coming soon.